Still with me are criminal defense attorneys Daryl Cohen and Alex Ozols. Alex, we just heard Christina Garvey talking about, again, her impressions that day that Jane Doe number 2 got in a vehicle, somewhat of a boxy car, she describes. What was key about Christina Garvey, for me at least, and I want to get your opinion on that, is she didn't say it in this clip, but she did say, one, she didn't recognize the driver. She didn't see who the driver was. But number two, that she had seen the vehicle before. And if you remember Jane Doe 2's testimony, she said that she knew Kevin for at least 6 months prior to the attack. They were pleasant. She never felt threatened by him. He would offer to give her rides, food. And so what do you think that means for the jury listening to Jane Doe number 2 say that, and then also hearing now her friend saying, I didn't see the driver, but I did see the car a couple times?
Yeah, I feel like when Christina testified, it corroborated it, but it wasn't too much. You know, it wasn't like it didn't sound like it was a rehearsed story, and that can look very bad for the prosecution. When it's a rehearsed story and every single fact is exactly the same, they're using the same terminology, it shows that, you know, they've talked about this and they've talked to the prosecutor about it and they're kind of coming up with a story. When they have similar facts and when the facts corroborate it, but it's not the exact same facts, it lends a lot of credibility to it. And I feel like she basically corroborated what Jane Doe number 2 said. And it didn't seem to me like it was really rehearsed. There were some things that she didn't know. There were some things that she admittedly didn't remember, which I think actually lends to her credibility in this situation.
Yeah. Daryl, do you think the jury is going to connect the dots when Christina said, I had Jane Doe number 2's phone. I borrow her phone from time to time. She gives it to me. Jane Doe number 2 stated on, I think it was direct, that she did not have her phone on her when the alleged rape occurred. Now, if you remember Jane Doe number 1, going back to her testimony, on cross-examination, she was getting hammered about why she didn't have, or she didn't take the opportunity. She had several opportunities to run, to call for help, because she actually did have a cell phone. So when the alleged rape occurred, why didn't you get on your cell phone and call 911? So now Jane Doe number 2, in her testimony, she didn't have her cell phone on her. Now we hear from Christina Garvey saying, I had her phone. Do you think they're going to connect the dots?
Well, they're going to connect the dots because the assistant DA is going to help the jury connect the dots. Mm-hmm. They may or may not be connecting it now, but that's what closing argument is all about, is to bring all these various dots, put them together, paint them into a story that the jury understands. They think they already understand it, but they'll definitely understand it then.
Alex, Daryl, thank you so much again. Great insight.